How Marion Works, a podcast series dedicated to informing you of the inner workings in all areas of Marion government and public services. Thank you for listening. Hey there, welcome to Season 1, Episode 10 of How Marion Works. I'm your host, Layla Price-Bodkin. Today's episode showcases the awesome Animal Care and Control Department, and our guests today are Shelter Manager BRITTNey Shrout and Animal Care and Control Officer Caleb Day. Welcome to you both.
Welcome.
Well, okay, we're going to get started with a fun little question, and I know that you guys have pets at home, so I would love for you to take the time to just talk about your pets. BRITTNey, go ahead.
I have 2 dogs and a cat. I have Derby. He is 11. He is the love of my life. He's perfect.
Is that a dog?
Mm-hmm. He's an American Pit Bull. He'll be 12 years old in October.
Was he a shelter dog?
He was, yep.
Okay.
He was my first foster and my only foster fail. But he is I like to joke around and I tell my children he's my favorite child. Like, he literally is perfect. And then I have a little Shih Tzu. He's 4. And he definitely has that second child energy. He is terrible. He's terrible.
That's like my dog.
Yeah.
So was he also a shelter dog?
He was, yep. He was also a shelter dog. And my oldest daughter begged me. She was like, please let me have a puppy, please.
Oh,
we only had Derb at the time. And I was like, maybe we'll teach her some responsibility. He's terrible.
Gotcha.
He's terrible.
He's stubborn.
He's just little dog energy. Anyone who owns a little dog, they will tell you they have an attitude, and he does what he wants and when he wants, and there's no way around it. My cat's pretty chill.
Sounds pretty familiar, kind of. Okay, so they all get along, and the cat just kind of makes it chill.
The cat is the boss, definitely.
Oh, cool. What about you, Caleb?
I do have a dog. His name is Scrappy. He's 5 this year.
What kind of dog?
He's a shepherd mix.
Nice.
He wasn't a shelter dog. I got him before I started working for Animal Care and Control. But he was on his way to the shelter, and it was my cousin's dog. So.
Oh, but you saved it. You saved the day, and
Yes.
you took ownership of him.
Yes. And I have had dogs from the shelter. I had a dog. Her name was Bella. She was 2 years old, and she passed in 2023.
Oh, no, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. But we're dog lovers. I personally have 2 dogs and 1 cat, and one of the dogs that I adopted was from Animal Care and Control, and she's a little beagle. And when I got her, that was about 6 years ago now, and at the time you said that she could be anywhere from 8 to 12, and I was like, I don't know. So I think she's probably around 15 years old, I would guess, but she's doing really well. And she is terrible. She's very stubborn. She gets away with whatever she wants, and we have to adapt to her.
Definitely a beagle.
Yes, definitely a beagle mentality. But we also have a black Labrador retriever who's my little baby boy and will always be, and he's 6.5. And when we got them, we adopted them at the same time. I think that's a good thing to do so that they can kind of get used to each other right away. But that process was really great. I was doing the walking of the dogs at the time, and she was the 3rd shelter dog that I walked, and I was just absolutely in love with her for some reason. I can't explain. She just needed to come home with me.
When you know, you know.
It was an early wedding present from my husband.
I know. I remember he came in and he was like so excited, and I was like, oh, they love each other. It's perfect.
I love that. And he remembers that too. And it was a very special time. And then we just recently adopted a cat that we just found while he was on a hunting trip. And we went into Animal Care and Control recently and got the cat microchipped, which is a good thing to do, which you can explain here in a little bit. But yeah, we love our dogs and our kitties and all of our animals. So thank you very much for being on the show. So we'll get into both of you and just kind of your life story. BRITTNey, we'll start with you. Are you from Marion?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Marion my whole life. I grew up with 6 sisters, 1 brother. You know, we had a great childhood. You know, my dad has raised his business here. We got to grow up in that environment. It's been wonderful.
That's a lot of girls in the household.
We had all girls and 1 boy. Yep.
That is a lot. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. So where did you go to high school and other schooling?
I went to Allen Elementary, and then I went to Jones 1 year before it closed, and then I went to McCalla, and then the high school.
Cool. So how did you get into the shelter manager life? You have been with the city since what year?
I've been with the city since 2010, so 15 years this year.
Wow. Did you start as a shelter manager?
I started in the kennel.
Oh, did you really? So you worked your way up. And so how has life been out there since growing as a...
I love it. Like I tell everybody, you can't work in this kind of situation unless you do love it. Like there's good and the bad. There's sad stuff. There's sad times, but you have to understand that you're doing something great. Like seeing those dogs leave especially when they come in scared or sick or injured, and we're helping them get better. So I absolutely love what I do, and I always have.
It seems like a very fulfilling job. And yes, there is a lot of chaos that happens, and you seem like a natural leader, and you also have a natural calmness about you that you're like, oh, we got this, or I got this. It's under control. So I've been very blessed to be able to work with you, Brittney. I started in 2014, so you had already been working out there for quite some time, and I'm very impressed with your operation.
Thank you.
So Caleb, what's your story? Are you from Marion originally?
I was born in Marion. Grew up in Gas City. I went to Miss Community Schools, graduated in 2016.
Nice. And did you have any other schooling or training for anything else after school?
I was into culinary for a little bit.
Oh, did you?
Yes. Definitely a career change that I was not expecting, but.
Gotcha. So what do you think caused that?
I'd say I've had enough of getting burnt in a kitchen.
Right. So it could still be a hobby though, it sounds like.
Oh yeah, I cook at home. I like to grill out when it's warm.
You like to experiment in the kitchen too?
Right. Yes.
Well, that's pretty fascinating. I know that's pretty great. Like, do you have a family at home that you cook for?
Yeah, I got a wife and 2 kids.
So I bet they really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Culinary expertise. And you are an animal care and control officer, and you were hired by the city in what year?
2021.
Okay.
So I've been doing it for 4 years this year.
How has it been?
Stressful at times. But at the end of the day, like Brittney said, you see the sick ones get better and go home, find their homes. Or you pick ones up off the side of the road that's been hit. You nurse them back to health, and then they're walking out the door a few months later adopted. So it's always a satisfying feeling.
Yeah. So your day-to-day could really vary.
Yeah.
But what does a normal day look like for you?
So we start our day off. I just like to do paperwork from the previous day, get all my paperwork turned in for my calls like that. And then I go on any calls that are given to me from Brittney up front or central dispatch. Yeah. And those range from traps to police assist, bite case, any kind of stuff like that.
Oh, gotcha. And you have to go in the order that you receive it, or?
I like to I prioritize what's more important or what's more of an emergency than others. So if there's a cat in a trap or a dog hit by a car, I respond to the dog hit by a car first.
So you have to triage in that way. You kind of have to just decide what is more important every single day.
Yes.
I can see how that can be stressful because it's like you want to be all of those places all at once.
Right. And it's very conflicting. Sometimes if you have to pick between, a dog hit by a car or somebody who got bit by a dog, ultimately it's just a hard choice for me to make sometimes. So.
Yeah. I wonder if proximity helps.
Yeah. Whichever's closest is usually the go-to as long as it's not a dire situation. And then I just bounce from, okay, what's closest to this call that I just went on? And then I go from there.
Is it just you at any given time as an animal care and control officer on shift, or is there someone else on shift at the same time as you?
So me and David Gully, that's the other animal care and control officer, we are split shifts. So we rotate every other week. One of us works 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. The other one will work 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. So we are on shift at the same time for a couple hours, and we usually.
Well, you get to kind of commiserate or at least go over notes.
Right.
But that's kind of good, but I can see how that can be kind of bad too. But but you need your break and he needs his break.
Right.
What kind of training do you have to have for this? Do you have to go any special training?
I can answer that better. So they do go through, they have to go through a euthanization policy training.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they do have to go through training to use the dart guns. And then they have to go through they have a babysitter for a few months until they learn, how to handle a dog with the catch poles and all the equipment that we provide for them.
Gotcha. Well, that's good. And how long does that training process take?
Usually we will try to set them free about 6 months in,
Okay.
But we always start them off with little things and get them comfortable before we put them something.
Oh, absolutely. That I can't imagine. It's almost like, in some ways it's like training to be a police officer in some ways, because you have to take control in difficult situations. And deal with people who are not very happy.
Yeah, he's very settling himself short, with his day-to-day things, because he also helps out in the shelter whenever needed. He does help with pick up the slack. Both of them do.
Yes.
They don't just do animal control duties. We help wherever it's needed.
I'm glad that you explained that, because I would love for you to break down everyone and their duties at the shelter, because you have 2 full-time animal control officers, and then you have support staff.
Yeah, so I have Danny, and Danny is my secretary. So Danny does all the upfront paperwork. He does adoptions. He does anything that I need him to do at that time. And then I have Carmen and Cinda, and they are my cat kennel people. They clean our cats. They make sure that if they see any signs of sicknesses or injuries, they notify them. They give them all their vaccinations. If you come in and say, hey, I would like to see the cats, that is who you would talk to. They would tell you their personalities better than I can.
How many cats are there right now?
I think we have around 50 cats now.
And how many adoptable dogs are there?
Probably close to 60, 70.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I have Ethan and Cheyenne, and they do the dogs. And of course, that's an all-day thing. They try to get them out as much as possible. They do the same thing as the cat girls do. If they notice anything, unusual, they notify that so we can get them to the vet and stuff like that.
So they're all full-time employees?
Yep.
And you also have very helpful volunteers. How many volunteers do you have?
I think I have around 4 or 5 that are consistent, that come pretty much weekly. And my volunteers are wonderful. They are great.
What kinds of things do they do?
So we have a couple of them run a Facebook page called Good News at Marion Animal Care
I've seen
Control.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that is run by our volunteers. So she'll come in and she'll take photos of dogs, or she takes photos of us doing everything, and she'll post it.
And it's not like we have the bad news all the time, but it's just an extra way that you guys are focused a lot on the adoptable dogs and cats. And the clinics and things like that. But what is the difference between that page and our page?
So our page is more toward adoptions and finding owners. And we would love to post all the silly, fun stuff, but we want to pretty much keep it clean, where if you're missing your dog, it's easy for you to come to our page and find that.
Yes.
But it is also nice that you can go to her page and see us organizing the garage. Is
that Liz Williams?
Yes, it is. Yeah. You can see us organizing the garage or setting up for the shot clinic. People don't get to see that stuff, and
Gotcha.
so it is kind of nice to have both pages. And she does a wonderful job. The page is great.
What's the name of the page again?
It's Good News at Marion Animal Care and Control,
and that is on Facebook.
Yep.
Well, thank you for mentioning that, because that is a kind of a newer page, and I love everything that everybody does, really. I particularly know Liz, so I know some things that she does and the passion that she has for cats in particular.
Oh, yeah.
So you've got kind of a good family out there, really. And then you also have a regular work crew that cleans your shelters. Is that on a regular basis, or is that something that has changed?
That's changed. So we do all of our cleaning now. My staff does.
Oh, my goodness. That's an added everyday task. Is that every morning?
We try to clean. So in the morning we'll do our our first cleaning. And then I like to re-clean around 2. And then, of course, we clean right before we leave just to make sure everybody's clean, has food and water. And
Wow. That is a lot, but you have had some great things happen recently where you've had new kennels put in, and that makes things look better, but also function better, right?
oh, yeah, it's
And
so
be
much
versatile
better.
for the dogs. I remember you were saying that they could either be outside or they can be inside, depending on the weather.
Yeah, so we have doggy doors so they can go in and out. We have about, I think, 76 cages that do that. They can go in and out. But the cage remodel has been such an improvement, not just for the dogs, but for the staff. Like, dogs getting out and stuff. Of course, that just adds another stress level of trying to clean and keep dogs contained. So with the new kennels, it's wonderful. And plus now public can go back and look at dogs. So it's before we had pictures, of course, but you didn't know until you met her. Like, so it would be great if people could walk back and kind of just make that connection and be like, that's the dog I want to see, rather than looking through a book. So our adoptions have been better since the kennels. Just the overall morale, we're not chasing dogs every morning.
And the dogs are safer in those new kennels, right?
Yeah.
Caleb, they're safer that way because they're more sequestered.
Yeah, they're more secure.
That's good.
We don't run the risk of a dog not liking another dog. We had that happen a couple times, but
yeah, because they had to share a space.
Yes. They could see each other.
Yeah. Oh, they could see
now
each other.
They can't.
Now they can't. Now there's actual walls, and they can kind of be in a more calm environment.
Correct. That's
great. Well, Brittney, I'd love for you to talk about some services that you offer that really just kind of go down the list of all the services that Animal Care and Control offers to the community.
So we offer a program called Loaning Love. It was made because we were doing puppy play dates at IWU, and all the college students would just, they would never say, I miss my mom, I miss my dad. It was always, I miss my dog. So in my mind, that was the year I became manager, and I was like, well, I have over 100 dogs, so we came up with a program where, and it's not just college students just take advantage of it more, but you can come in and say, I want to walk a dog today. Can I borrow a dog? That's what they always tell us. And I'm like, yeah. So they fill out some information. We get a copy of their ID, and basically they can take the dog for a walk. They can take it and get a cheeseburger. A couple of the girls will take their pictures and send them to us, and we can, be like, Ellie had a great day on her Loaning Love date, and it is great. It's wonderful, and it gets them out. Like, we try to get them out as much as possible, but with cleaning and people coming in, they don't get out as often as they would love that too. And exercise and run, be a dog.
Yeah, and I'm sure that you pick a great dog for them to take on to the park or whatever, because I know you have, standards that you want to live by with having the public take on that responsibility and for them to be safe. But it sounds like a win-win for sure.
It is.
For both the dog and the human.
We also offer quarterly vaccination clinics to the whole public. You don't have to live in Grant County to use it. The only thing that we require is that you are following state and local ordinances. You have to be in compliance with them to receive the vaccination.
What does that mean? What kinds of?
So a couple of them are, we require, if your dog's not fixed, you have to have a city license. So in the City of Marion, any dog over the age of 6 months has to have a city tag.
Oh.
And you have to have that every year if you choose not to get your dog fixed.
Okay.
So if you don't have that when you come to the shot clinic, we require you to purchase that to receive the free vaccines.
What all vaccines do you administer?
We administer the booster vaccines, which is parvo, distemper. There's a couple other ones. The only one we don't offer is kennel cough and rabies. But I am trying to get a rabies clinic. It's just, it's not, we don't have a date yet, but I have a vet. So hopefully we can offer that in the future.
What is the challenge there in getting that?
So she just, it's just, she's by herself. So,
I see.
So she's trying to find some other people to help her.
What's her name?
They are Four Direction. So they've been up here a couple of times doing cat spay neuters. I'm sure if you drove by, you saw their little trailer in our parking lot.
Are they an organization, or are they affiliated with a school? Or
they are just their own organization. They go around to local shelters and do clinics. Well, they do wellness checks and rabies vaccines and stuff.
Okay, so they're basically there to do that job, and you're there to coordinate that event, which you said are quarterly, and you guys just had one this weekend, and it went really well. Caleb, were you out there on Friday?
Yeah, I was involved. When I wasn't on a call, I was
helping
with paperwork or helping Danny administer shots.
Oh, that's great.
How Marion Works is sponsored by the City of Marion. This podcast covers the inner workings of city government to better serve you.
I hear that it was another successful event, and people should definitely take advantage of it because it's helping the animals be safe and healthy.
Right. And we also offer $10 microchips to anybody that wants
to come in. Is that on that day as well?
Any day of the week, we're open.
Anytime. Anytime. I'm glad you said that because can you tell me your hours?
Yeah, so we're open Tuesday through Friday. You can come in as early as 9 a.m. If you want to see the dogs. We ask you come in a little later, about after 11, just to give them time to clean. But if you want to come in and talk to me, or if you want a microchip, anything like that, you can come in as early as 9.
Yeah. And I actually, since I just did that, I have an experience. It was a great experience. I brought my cat in a little a container, a crate, and I didn't even have to make the cat get out of the crate, which I was kind of nervous about. And I didn't even ask. They just came up and they did the shot, and I got my paperwork, and that part is free. And then I was encouraged to go on petlink.com to register, and it was very easy. The process was very easy, and I had the number that you guys gave me.
It's so easy, and it's a lifetime registry, so you don't have to do it. You pay the $10 for us to put it in, and you sign up, and that's it.
Yeah, it's very helpful because why, Brittney? Like if a cat were to get out.
Yeah, so the microchips are great. A lot of people confuse it with GPS. It is not GPS yet. Hopefully in the future, maybe, but
or a cat or a dog.
Right. So right now it is basically an identification that does not fall off. So when an animal comes in or an AC officer brings in the animal, they have scanners in their trucks. So they just scan the dog right there as soon as they put it in their vehicle. And then they can correspond with me and say, hey, it just picked up this dog. It has this microchip. Dog's name's Jacoby. Here's the owner's names, information. Wow. So I call the owner and I'm like, hey, we just picked up your dog. Like he's on it. He's en route. And it just, more dogs would get returned faster if they were microchipped because all their information's on there.
Caleb, what do you think of that technology? Do you use it a lot?
Yeah, it's great. A lot of the times too, most older people don't have social media, so it helps for the older generation to give them a phone call and be like, hey, I picked up your cat, dog, etc. We explain the pricing for the fee, and then we just send them home.
Is there anything else that helps in that regard besides microchipping? I don't know if you guys use the NeighborLink website or any other, probably any special Facebook page?
Yeah, we recommend that you, if your dog is missing, my number one tip would be to call your local veterinarians in your city.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Call your local shelter. And then, especially if you live in like small towns like Matthews, Van Buren, their police officers get most of their calls. So notify those local police departments too. Because if you live in those towns, you're going to call the police and say, hey, a golden retriever is running loose. And then the police officer can view call and they're like, oh, someone just called.
Yeah.
And then the next thing would be is to basically email. We ask people to email us photos of their dog or cat and where they went missing, any kind of information. Then I will make a flyer and post it to our Facebook page.
You were so helpful in that way. Because, in that time of chaos, I've been there. I was actually out in West Virginia with Nellie, who I adopted from you, and she got away, and I was scared to death because it was in the mountains. I was so scared. And the first thing that I did was call that police department. And it just so happened that when I was expecting the police to arrive, my husband shut the car door, and that slam helped her run back home because she knew that maybe we were leaving or something, or maybe we were mad at her. And so that's just a little thing that gets her. And sometimes we've had to do other things, just like other loud booms that will help her get back home. So, but police department, veterinarians,
animal
control shelters, call all of those places first, probably.
Yeah.
in addition to the efforts that you're taking.
And of course, Facebook is a very wide opportunity. You know, people post dogs running loose all the time. So I would definitely try to get their photo on Facebook as soon as possible.
That's great to know. Well, I'm going to take a real quick commercial break. Stay connected with us by following City of Marion on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and TikTok, as well as our website, cityofmarion.in.gov, and on the new My Marion app, a free download through your Apple Store or Google Play Store. Okay, Brittney and Caleb, we're going to get back into our second half of the show. And I kind of threw you a softball, Brittney, because I wanted to ask, what is the most interesting thing that happened to you in the past year or the past few years?
I would say recently in the past year, the most interesting that's happened to me is becoming a mother again after 10 years. That lots of things have changed, you know, since I had my first daughter, and she's 10.
Oh my goodness.
And I realized that having a baby in my 20s was a lot easier than having a baby in my 30s. I'm tired.
And you're set in your ways.
Which he's a good baby, but like I am tired. So I would say that's probably been the most interesting thing to me is just experiencing it again. And it's wonderful. Like that newborn stage, he's 5 months, and just watching him learn all the things all over again has been wonderful.
And you're able to bring the baby to work, or?
I bring him to work with me in the morning, and then my sister picks him up from me when she drops her kids off from school. So I get to snuggle him for like an hour, and then she takes him, and then I pick him up after work.
So how do you manage when you are fatigued? Because we get fatigued, and you have your very good reason to lately. What helps you get through every day? I live life. My boyfriend likes to tell me I live in a fairy tale world. I like to live life to the best of possible, you know, like every day is great to me. And so I just get up and start my day, and I do pretty much the same thing every day. You know, I get up, I drink my coffee, I take Paisley to school, and then me and Mad go to work. And then, you know, work is kind of busy, so it keeps your mind off of things. You know, I think I thrive in the chaos, and next thing I know, it's time for me to leave. So you thrive in the chaos?
I do thrive in the chaos.
Some people really do. Caleb, are you the same way? Do you thrive in the chaos?
Absolutely not. I get very overstimulated.
Yes.
My anxiety takes the best of me sometimes. I've learned to come to terms with it now. It don't bother me as much as it used to. I just need to step outside and take a breath.
Yeah, there are things that you can do.
Yes.
I know that there's a yoga for that. I do a yoga every morning, depending on how I'm feeling. I do a short yoga. It's like 10, 15 minutes to get me started on my day.
Sometimes he has to call me, and I have to reassure him. I'm like, Caleb,
do you want to start doing yoga in the morning, Caleb?
My body ain't fit for yoga. I think might end up breaking my back or something.
It's not the type that you might be thinking of. But so, what do you think the most interesting thing is that happened to you either last year or in the past few years?
My second son was born a couple years ago. After a 6-year break from no babies.
Oh, really?
So it's been a struggle to get readjusted to the up every couple hour thing. But he sleeps through the night now. He's 2 years old.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Do you get to see him during your workday at all, or you basically take him to a daycare, or?
So he stays home with his mom. I do have my hour lunch break where I can go home and eat lunch, hang out with the kids. Grayson's in school while I'm at work, so he gets home a couple hours before I do, and then I go home and get to see him.
Well, that's good that you have that balance. Both of you have a good balance every day, it sounds like, and you need that in your jobs because it's a little bit more of a high stressor role. So it sounds like you manage it well every day. And Brittney, I love what you just said about how you kind of live in this fairy tale world, and that's good advice for us to take. Just, don't let anything ruin your day, because nothing should ruin your day.
You can't. And that's what I tell, Aaron tells me every day I live in a fairy tale world. And I'm just like, why should I let one person's mood or opinion affect my whole day?
Right.
I have to be in this day for 24 hours. I want to be in a good mood, and I don't want to be sad or mad. So I just live life to the best I can. And it works so far.
That's wonderful. I'm very inspired by you. Now, you've made a lot of improvements to animal care and control in the past, and you've been here for quite a while. So you could talk about the past year of improvements, or you can just talk about overall how things have changed since you started as a shelter helper.
I feel like we've done some really good improvements. The kennel has been great. And then we do have some upcoming projects. So hopefully people will see them soon.
Okay.
But we are trying to make the shelter a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very welcoming. Like, we want people to see it as a very welcoming place. We want you to feel like we are part of your family. We don't want you to feel like we're the bad guys, because yes, sometimes we do have to take dogs, but we don't want to keep your dog. We just want you to change the things that need to be changed. We're here to help and educate the community, and I hope that's what, moving forward, that's what people will see from us. And that's why we always recommend people come into us, come meet us, come talk to us, come volunteer. Like, you will have a different outlook on it once you're there for a couple of days.
So that's definitely something the community can do to help you, would be to come educate themselves.
Yeah.
Either by helping or just learning about what you do. Just come visit. Just visit and see what it's all about. You've got some nice, colorful murals, not in the not too recently, but you've had those done, and it's nice.
We painted them during COVID, just to kind of brighten up the place. They're in the puppy rooms. It's very nice. So we did a lot of painting. So when you come in, it's a very different. When I first started in animal control, it was beige and red.
Ew.
So it was very like, when we walked in, it was just like sad, and so I remember during COVID, I asked Jerry, I was like, can I paint in here? Can we make it a little bit more brighter? And he was like, go ahead, go for it, so we changed it to the blues and stuff, and it is very different. Like, when you walk in now, it doesn't feel so gloomy or like a doctor's office. We're trying to stay away from, we don't want you to feel like it's a doctor's office. So that definitely has improved.
It's bright. It smells nice.
Thank you.
It is welcoming.
Yes.
When I was there very recently. So
good. And
definitely.
And I try to get my staff, like Caleb said, he doesn't thrive in the chaos, and a lot of them don't. I want them to put themselves out there and just be friendly and be kind. And if you don't know the answer, just tell them, let me find somebody that can tell you the answer.
Now, I have a hot topic that I think I want to bring up, because Dina Weiss, who works in my department, she works with the neighborhoods. She gets phone calls very regularly about the groundhog situation. Is this a deal, or is it not an issue?
So the issue with the wildlife, not just groundhogs, wildlife, is animal control. Our license only allows us to pick up if the groundhog is in a trap.
Okay.
Or if it's deceased. Or if it's like sick. So if it's like walking in a circle or something like that, we can go out and try to catch it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people will call us because they're in their attic or in the basement. Unfortunately, animal control our license does not allow us to do that.
Yeah.
That is something you would have to call like a critter control for.
Oh, okay.
And if you need that number, if you call me, I have all the numbers at the office. I'm happy to give you anybody's number.
Yeah, because there could be a lot of different situations. I just brought up groundhogs just as an example, but there are so many different critter issues that can happen, and infiltration of somebody's property, and damage to their property, damage to their trees, or whatever it is.
And it is baby season, so the raccoons and the groundhogs are going to try to find places to have those babies. So it is smart to call a critter control so they can maintain that area, where we don't want to pick up a mom and then 3 days later have dead babies, so they can relocate the whole family.
Well, can you mention what your phone number is, just so that they can have a place to start?
Yeah, our phone number is 765-668-4491, or they could email me. My email is bshrout@cityofmarion.in.gov.
Do you encourage private messaging on Facebook, or no?
We do not have the private messaging on Facebook. We only have my email,
Gotcha.
Or they can use the city app.
So it would be great. That's true. We can use the city app, and you brought up a great thing to first of all, download the free app. And it's My Marion app. And so that is one way that you can reach animal care and control. I didn't know if you guys, it's kind of putting you on the spot, but if you don't have anything else that you wanted to talk about, but I thought maybe just a funny story or a heartwarming story of any of your animals at the shelter that you wanted to talk about, maybe to even encourage adoptions, responsible adoptions.
So funny stories, I would say we received a call one time we received a call of an alligator on the telephone pole.
What?
So we were like, okay, well, how did this alligator get on the telephone pole? So it was one of our old animal control officers out to this call, and he calls me and he's like, this is not an alligator, it's an iguana.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so they caught this iguana. Which we did find it a good home, but that was kind of funny that someone thought it was an alligator. And then for like promoting adoptions and stuff, I would say a lot of people think, oh, this dog's at a shelter because something's terrible about it. Yeah. We have good dogs. We have such good dogs. I personally like the crazy Chihuahuas. So I pull any aggressive Chihuahua and help them. And I think I've been at animal control 15 years and I've probably helped place over 200 Chihuahuas just because they're misunderstood. Like if you were a foot tall and you have these giant people looking at you, you have to act tough a little bit. You know? So I love helping the Chihuahuas. I would say that's probably my favorite thing about animal control is helping them.
And they live for a long time. My cousin actually just put her dog down this week, and that dog lived for 20 years.
They can live. Chihuahuas have a very long life expectancy. I do have a Chihuahua right now in animal control. Her name is Diamond, and I've probably had her 5 years.
Oh.
Yeah, and she still only likes me. So the hurt person's out there. I know it is, and I will find it.
So what about you, Caleb? Do you have a story that you want to share, or even just a favorite animal of yours out there?
So I used to be, coming into the shelter, I was a big American Staffordshire Terrier person.
Yeah.
But here recently, past couple of years, it's been Border Collies, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
We had a group come in from a police assist, and one particular out of the group was just not the friendliest with anybody. It took me 3 months to get him on a leash. It took me 6 months to pet him. And then it took me 9 months for him to finally just sit by he'd follow me around off leash throughout the entire shelter. I got him rescued. He was rescued by the Border Collie Rescue back about a year ago, and he's thriving.
Oh, good. So what do you think helped him kind of warm up to you?
A lot of dog treats.
Okay.
Consistency.
Yeah.
So he's still around? Is he adoptable?
Clancy's Border Collie Rescue pulled him. So he's up for it. I think they already got him adopted, but they still send him videos and pictures of him.
That has to be, that's so good. Mm-hmm. That has to be really hard when you get attached to a dog that is in the shelter for a long time. And I remember you even had a mascot, H2O.
Mm-hmm. We did, yeah. H2O is the bulldog we found at the water company. He was with us, I want to say 7 years, and he passed away to liver cancer, but he was wonderful. He was a great dog.
Do you have a current mascot?
We don't. I always say Diamond's the mascot, but she really can't be because she's a little, crazy. But
what about a cat? That's
we do have cats. Yeah. So the shelter does have 4. Do we have 4 cats, Caleb?
Yeah, 4.
We have 4 cats. So we have Pyro, Arson, Chaos, and Olive.
So those are not adoptable?
No.
They are basically your babies, and they've probably been around for a while.
Yeah, and if you follow the Good News page, you'll see their pictures every day.
Oh,
Liz
that's
posts
so
them
good.
every day. Yep.
Now, I also want to talk about your TikTok channel that's fairly newer, and how can they find that? I think it's just called Marion Animal Care and Control. I know that if you just type it in, you'll find it, but we have a city one, and that's City of Marion IN. And we also have a TikTok that is a Splash House TikTok. And then probably the most popular one is yours, Brittney. I don't know. I think yours probably surpassed the city's popularity.
We try to post, and then I like to get on the boys because they'll tell me something funny, like Caleb carried a dog in the rain 2 blocks, and I'm like, and you didn't record it? Like, I could have posted it. And he's like, you want me to record it while I'm carrying this dog in the rain? I'm like, yes, do better.
Yeah, do better. Be on that. Always have your phone ready to go.
All right. But the TikTok is fun. We enjoy it. We enjoy taking videos of them and being silly, and my staff likes to send me other TikToks, and they're like, we should do this one. So it is fun.
Good.
And it shows people a different side of us, not just the working side. It shows the fun side too.
I love that. And I love watching all of your videos, and I think that it would be a great channel to follow. And so I just want to thank you both for taking the time out of your very busy days to be on this podcast. So thank you, Brittney, and thank you, Caleb.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to the How Marion Works podcast. Follow us on social media. Listen to the podcast on platforms like Apple, Spotify, and all other major platforms. Episodes release every other Monday at 5 a.m., so be on the lookout. Archives are found at howmarionworks.com. Thanks for listening. For Brittney Shrout and Caleb Day, I'm Layla Price-Bodkin, and this is How Marion Works. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you for listening to the How Marion Works podcast. We hope you'll join us next time.